Hey guys, how's it going? I'm sorry I haven't been uploading for a while. It's been really rough. I've been doing my best to try to keep my head together and not panic and worry about what's going on the outside world too much. But it is a heavy topic. But yeah, here we go. In today's video, I am going to go over Vorpal weapon and why that pertains to champions and everything else. I would do my best to put this video as short as possible. But there's been a lot of questions, and I'd rather just break it down because people are like, man, hey man, why are you always using weapons in your nightfalls? Right? So here we go, man. Coming from the guy who's done about 560 something grandmasters nightfalls. I just enjoy doing that, their hard content, and it's one of the best things that they put on the world in a while. I kind of wish that there was more incentives and loot behind it, but I'm not gonna complain. Here we go. Now, what does Vorpal say on at the Vorpal weapon here says increase damage against bosses, vehicles, and guardians with their super active. And I think most people, when they see this perk, they're like, okay, this is only good against bosses. Why do I even want this on my primary? I don't need this. Like, what the hell's going on? And here is my take on this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to basically show you where Vorpal works and where Vorpal does not work. Now, everyone's like, man, Vorpal works on majors. So I didn't know that. Vorpal works on champions. I thought champions were bosses. Here's the video. Here's my complete breakdown. Let's go fucking do that. All right. Now, Free Slide is a perfect example of a gun that I can kind of show you some differences. All right, on Vorpal weapon and why certain things are set up the way that they are. Now, I am going to bring up a few different enemies here because there's different tiers of enemies in Destiny 2. All right? Here are the tiers of enemies in Destiny 2. You have a miner, all right, which is a red bar. You have a major, which is an orange bar. You have an ultra, which is, if you look on the top left there, that is upside down triangle. And then you have a boss, which is a diamond. Here is where things get a little tricky that most people don't understand. Right? An ultra is a mix of a major and a boss. All right? Hear me out here. He's a yellow bar, so the game still considers him a boss. But he's not strong enough to be a boss, so in Bungie's coding, this knight is a major. And if you go into Nightfalls and you look at a champion, champions have the upside down triangle. That means that they are ultras. Now, this weapon here that I have in my hand has Vorpal on it. Vorpal procs on your screen when you shoot an enemy that it works on. For example, vehicles. You have Cyclops count as vehicles. You have Shriekers that count as vehicles. You have tanks that count. And what else? I think that's it when it comes to vehicles. Oh, the fire ascendier machines from Cabal also count as a vehicle. Now, if I shoot this guy here, a major, Vorpal's not procced at all, right? But if I shoot this guy here, Vorpal is procced on the left side of my screen. Now, the damage right now is 2090. And you're like, man, EK, how do I really know that Vorpal's... And here is what I'm going to show you. If I switch it from Vorpal to Rampage, and I shoot this guy here, it went down to 1817. So that tells you that Vorpal is working on this ultra enemy here. I'm going to go back into my gun, and I'm going to put Vorpal back on. Vorpal also works against bosses. And as you can see, it is procced on the bottom left side of my screen here. All right? Here's where it gets a little tricky, because people always ask me, because I'm always using my trophy hunter, why do you have major spec on your trophy hunter? Here we go. I'm going to take off my major spec mod, right? I'm going to shoot the knight. The damage is 17,583. I am going to shoot the ogre. The damage is 16,830, I believe. Now, I am going to put boss spec on. Why? Because everyone believes that it is increased damage against bosses when it comes to Vorpal weapon, and it does stack, right? So if I put boss spec on and I shoot this knight, you can see that my number is the same, because he is not a boss. He's a hybrid of a major and a boss. He's an ultra. And if I shoot the boss, you can see that my number went up from 16,000. Now, if I put on major spec on the sniper and I shoot the ogre, my number went back down. But if I shoot the knight, my number goes up, meaning in-game coding, this knight is known as a major. Perfect example of that is champions. That's why I have major spec on guns against champions. And that's why I always tell people, if you're going to run mountaintop because you need to kill your champions really quick, put on major spec. Champions are not bosses. They are majors in the game. Why? Because ultras are a mix between a major and a boss, and the game registers them as majors. But if you have a Vorpal weapon with you, it will proc on these guys. All right? Now, a lot of people say, you always say that Breach Light is the best thing for breaking shield. It is. Because when a Hobgoblin puts up their shield, I do not have to worry much about it, because Vorpal gives me the extra damage that I need to break that shield with. And, you know, to figure out what weapon is really good against anti-barrier, you don't just do it against the guys that you can hit crits with. You also do it against the guys that you can't hit crits with, which are Hobgoblins. Now, there are some tricks around it. If they're facing one way, or if you get to up a ledge, then your teammate can kind of shoot the crit. But here's my breakdown of Vorpal. I hope you guys understood exactly what I try to put in this video and why I run this in Grandmaster Nightfalls. It helps out a lot. It is free damage, and it's something that I can use all the time. It is free damage. I don't need to kill for it to proc. I don't need to reload for it to proc. I don't need to do anything. It's just there. It's an intrinsic perk that's on the gun, and that's how good Vorpal is. All right? I'd like to thank you guys for watching my video. I'll see you guys on the next one, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for all your support. Thank you for all your messages. Thank you for the love, man. I truly do appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next video.